Hello, this is Cheryl Wilson and thank you for joining my channel again. This is a really fun video for me to put together because this is just a continuation of the mini videos that I put together prior, where I've taken a lot of the different papers that I've done, a lot of the embellishments that I've made, and I've put them together into like a profile of the different papers and the different embellishments. And then I take it a step further where I show you how to take these textured papers and the Tyvek and the metals and the ripped up sheets that we put together into a painting. So the process, you go from the profile papers we put together onto the canvas, and then it ends up being a finished piece of art. So I hope you stay with me, and as we go through this kind of more lengthy video today, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have fun, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Alright, this is a demo I've been really wanting to show you for quite a while. And this demo is going to be taking papers and building kind of like profiles. And let me show you two of them that I've done. Here's one, and this is done with all different materials. It's got some Tyvek, it's got some cheesecloth, it's got regular watercolor paper painted, it's got some corrugated cardboard. Here's some of the red rosin paper. Here's some tin foil. Here's just some more papers. Here's some more Tyvek. I kept the theme of this one, the blacks and golds and silvers. This one is more of the blues, and this has some metals, pounded metals, and all this is in the tutorials. There's different tutorials on using the raised stencils and the modeling paste, making the Tyvek, using the red rosin paper, pounding the metals, all this. So this is what we're going to build, and then we will take these models, cut them up, and then you've seen this piece of art several times, but we make into a piece of art. This is small, but you can imagine what this would look like on a larger canvas. So that's kind of where we're going, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to build today. I'm just going to go for it. So these are kind of like an idea of what we're going to finish today. So I usually just take a piece of black paper. You can build it just on any watercolor paper. This is construction paper. And then I just start looking. If I'm going to do a black and white theme, I just start building. I look at my design. I like ripped. So, you know, if you rip a paper one way, you get the look of it finished. If you rip it the other way, you get the rip. So let's actually do this both ways. I'm going to rip this one way. I'm going to rip it from one direction, and then I'm going to rip it the other direction. So you get both the smooth look and a nice kind of a cut look. What I use to put this down on paper is soft gel. I use Golden. You can use any brand. I use Golden's. Now this is not going to give it 100% glue down today because we're going to have to probably go back, but this will give a nice glue start. So we get that started. Press that down in there. Look around. Look for another piece. may or may not put that. This is the red rosin paper, and this is marbling paper. This was the red rosin with some of the, just like a monoprint. Let's see, here's a piece of just regular paper. Oh, let's do this one. This one's just regular paper with stamps. I'm just going to maybe rip up a piece of that and stick it over here. Kind of get it started. Here is a really rough piece. I might have to use my scissors. This was done with the glass beads, but look how beautiful that is. So I may grab some of the golds, maybe rip the rest, rip the corner over here. Save every little bit. This little piece here would go fine in another spot. So let's see what that looks like. We'll just put it down in the middle. It's a beautiful piece. It's a little bit heavier, so I kind of stuck it underneath the roughness of the first piece I put down. Okay, we've got something built here. Might need something a little softer. Let's see. Got a whole bunch of pieces here. Here's just a black piece of cardboard. I mean, black construction paper where I just took a piece of plastic and I had some paint somewhere. I put it on the plastic and laid it down. So this is just a real beautiful, shiny little extra surprise. So let's put that down. At any point I can add in any of the pieces that I built. Here's just kind of like a monoprint of leftover paint with some of the Titan Buff. So let's put that over here. I'm liking this string looking look over here. Still keeping the glass beads looking. Let's put some of the Tyvek in. This is just beautiful. It's a little dark. This one was the one that I did on the demo. That's absolutely beautiful. So let me cut around some of the bubbles. I like that whole piece. So now some of this I will have to sandwich down. So for now, I'm going to put that as a placeholder. So I will put it under something to sandwich it down. So you get an idea. We probably want to throw in a color. So let's pull, this is the red rosin paper. Maybe throw in give it a pop of color here. Now, what may come into play here is you, at some point, may want to add your metal, and that you can press down in there. You may want to add a a bead. Here's some of the Tyvek beads that we made. You may want to add a stone in here. So that can come next. I mean, those are always ideas. Here's some of the glue gun. You can add that in. Beautiful ideas. Here's a pop of color with the copper. I like that there. So I may save that spot, leave it as an area for the eye to rest, so I can add the copper glue gun. Let's see, maybe I want to add down here a pop of blue, because I've haven't been adding. So because I added that down there, I may up here, this is done with the plaster of Paris, and I painted on top and did some pigment. So I may want to up here add the stone to bring in some additional color down here. All right, let's keep building. This is more of the seed, maybe adding in, this is another stencil. This is just adding another dimension here. I'm going to start this one with it right down the center. Let's see, just red rosin. I just love this paper. So much some black in there. So many things to choose from. Now let's put some of the, I've got a couple things I can do in here. This is kind of moving away from the rust colors, but I wanted to introduce some of the seed pearls, so let me put a piece of that in here. Glass beads. I call them seed pearls, but they're really glass beads. And then let's add a pop of this cobalt blue, and this is the Tyvek. So let's add a piece of that. A really dramatic focal point spot. So this might call for a dramatic, I'm thinking that that is going to be what I want on this piece. So at some point that's going to get incorporated into the piece. So let's keep building here. Let this little guy go to waste. Let's just pop him in right here. Just the marbling paper here. Maybe I want to add, I haven't added this. This is the very heavy textured sand. I may have to cut this because it is pretty, but here's a spot of blue here. So let me, now this is some more of the glass beads. No, this is the highly textured, coarse medium. It was the one by the Tri Art that I used. That's what this is. And that is dramatic. So let me, add it in a couple dramatic places here. Because that is a very unique piece. Alright, and I think we might need some more black to tie this together. So what I may do when I'm done with this is I may, let me just show you, before I add the metal, because that blue does not have any gold, okay, let me refocus my camera here. I may decide, just on the spur of the moment, just to add some gold, just on the top. Some I can smear in. And it just maybe brings it together. Okay. So even though that is silver, I love mixing metals, so I'm still going to go with the gold, and then I'm going to add that in with some of the soft gel. So it's going to take some time for this piece to dry. But let me keep adding some drama here. I think I might, yeah, I'm going to bring in some of this red rosin paper up here. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just add some of the white to the edges just to balance out. So any little pieces that we This is the Tyvek, so it needs cut. It does not rip, which is great for FedEx packages because they stay secure. So let me just swoosh that out. So that's the direction that we go when we're adding the papers. And I did this quickly, but you get the idea of what this is going to look like. And of course, when this goes in a piece, I may cut an angle. I may save this and put this in later because I may not want this whole thing. I may cut around this way. It all depends. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on, you saw this piece. And so what I did was I just cut it up into 3 pieces. And I'm going to work on it on this canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the colors that are in here, and I'm going to paint my canvas. So I've already pulled out some of the colors to start. Clean water. I'm just going to work on a canvas here. So I'm looking at the colors that are in the piece I'm going to add. I'm just kind of playing off of that. I don't know how much of this is going to show. So I can add this in, and then of course is when I continue to keep adding my embellishments. So this kind of gives you an idea. Again, I'm going to let this dry. I'll come back when it's dry and just kind of go from there. So, when you remove the books, remove the freezer paper, you've got a beautiful piece of art. Of course, go back and just double check if there's any areas that you need to re-add some of the soft gel. Press down a little bit harder. But this is a piece of art that you can be proud of. You've made every single piece that is in there. Everything is made, it's unique, it's uniquely yours. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know. To help me to know if you want me to keep doing videos, I'd love it if you would give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, so I know if you really are enjoying what I'm doing and if I should just keep going. Thanks a lot.